This is quite possibly the saddest Bigfoot news I've ever heard.
The most famous Bigfoot footage ever recorded in history was just exposed to be 100% completely fake by the filmmaker's own son. So actually, going all the way...
No! Why'd they gotta do this to us? Well, I love to live in that fantasy where this is real. I want to live in that fantasy where this is real. Can we just live there for a little bit longer? I thought I could die with this one, not knowing. I didn't think I'd get to know. Is that sad? I didn't mean to ruin it for you guys. I apologize. But, you know, the truth, it'll set you free, but it sure does hurt sometimes, I'll tell you that.
Back to 1967, two different guys named Roger Patterson and Bob Gimlin filmed 59 seconds of what they said was a real Bigfoot walking through the woods in Northern Carolina. It has been studied
It was real.
60 years now, and nobody could prove that it was fake, and nobody could also prove that it was real. So which one is it? Well, we're about to find out. And then this woman found a locked safe, and inside of that was a reel of 16mm film that had been hidden inside of it for decades.
This project off was the discovery of a 16mm film that had been locked in a safe for over 50 years.
Whenever a filmmaker was able to develop the film, he found a 40-second clip from 1966, 1 year before the famous footage, and it was showing a dress rehearsal. It was basically a skinnier Bigfoot.
A dress rehearsal? How sad and disappointing is that? It's just a dress rehearsal. But for what, though?
But the same exact walk in the same exact woods, a practice run that was never supposed to be seen. He brought the film to Patterson's son, and instead of denying it, the son actually agreed to talk. He said that his mother privately admitted that the whole thing was staged. The man who was allegedly wearing the suit is now...
That's the man. That's the man who was wearing the suit. Get that man. He's a liar. He's a liar. He fooled us. Oh, I don't know. Don't get that man. He's probably just a fine guy making some stupid films, you know. We've all made dumb films.
In his 80s and confirmed it. 60 years and the most debated film on earth, and it was a guy in a costume the entire time. But who is gonna say I told you so?
Oh, how sad is that though? Is that not the saddest thing? I just want to live in my world where that's not true. I'm just gonna still think that was like some, could be mysterious creature.
40 million years ago, this massive carnivorous creature behind me terrorized the seas. You are looking at the fossilized remains of a basilosaurus. And if you've never heard of a basilosaurus before, you might think it's a dinosaur, but it is actually a whale. And the area I'm standing on right now was once known as the Tethys Ocean. And these massive creatures used to feast on sharks and smaller sized whales to survive before, of course, many changes happened. Erosion, climate change, and what was once an ocean has now become a desert. But the area I'm standing on today is actually known as the Valley of the Whales, and it is the best site in the entire world for studying the evolution of whales. What makes the Basilosaurus particularly interesting is that many scholars believe that it is actually the inspiration in Egyptian mythology for the chaos serpent. So, if you are planning to visit Egypt, I highly recommend that you come to this little known and little seen site to see a piece of prehistoric history.
Let's look that one up. Yo, ChatGPT, can you tell me a little bit about the Valley of the Whales?
Oh, you're talking about the Valley of the Whales, also known as Wadi el-Hitan in Egypt. It's a pretty fascinating place. It's essentially a UNESCO World Heritage Site filled with fossilized remains of ancient whales, but these whales actually had legs. It's a key piece of evidence showing how whales evolved from land-dwelling animals into the fully aquatic creatures we know today. It's like stepping back millions of years into whale history.
Is that one of the only spots that we find whales with legs?
It's definitely one of the most famous and well-preserved spots, but it's not the only one. Fossils of early whale ancestors like Ambulocetus and Pachycetus have also been found in places like Pakistan. But Wadi el-Hitan stands out because of the sheer number of fossils and the clarity of the evolutionary story they tell. It's like a natural museum of whale evolution.
Can you show me a picture of that sea that used to exist there? The whatever, Tethys Sea or whatever?
I can't show you a direct historical photo, since the Tethys Sea existed millions of years ago. But I can describe it for you. It was an ancient ocean that separated the supercontinents of Laurasia and Gondwana during the Mesozoic era. Imagine warm, shallow waters filled with marine life, covering regions that today are parts of Europe, the Middle East, and North Africa. It's the ancient sea that left behind environments like Wadi El Hitan, where whale ancestors once swam. If you ever want to see an artist's rendering of the ancient Tethys, I'd be happy to help you look one up.
I don't know where you guys stand on like what's happening on this world, but like there's whale bones in the desert. You know, we just go there and we can see them now and whatever. And they have whales with that used to have legs apparently, and they're just there or something. They're probably just some weird like dragons or something like that. Those are probably because he said that it was maybe the inspiration for the Egyptian serpent or something like that, and. Maybe that is just a valley where they all fell or something. It doesn't make sense. I don't know. It's crazy that like every land area was basically under sea, or it's not everything is like that, but like a lot of the continents were, at least parts of them were underneath waters, or like Wisconsin was apparently underneath a mile of ice. Like that's ridiculous. Like what we've been through such crazy changes. If any of this is true, like I don't know really one way or the other. It all seems weird, doesn't it? Not all seem weird. I mean, all we really have is our limited time on Earth. That we can only get so many skills, which are just like in our methods of dating. I don't even know how accurate they are. You know, you could take a study a lifetime figuring out whether that's accurate or not in a study alone. Like so, to be for sure, I don't know. It's crazy to know how wildly the Earth has changed over the years. It's just nuts.
Tether a balloon down on the ground, have it like go up about 1,000 feet in the air with copper wires attached, and generate electricity right from there. Just having a free-floating helium balloon tethered to the ground, you just connect it to your electrical sources. I believe it could give us free energy. And all these wars, like I said, so many things going on around the world right now. Brand new war, all again for oil, for gas, for resources that they want us to think is scarce and limited. We have to go after this place or they're going to bomb us with nukes, and we have.
So at first I brought up this one because I was just thinking about how this idea of getting energy just from a balloon floating would just be just as great as some of these old world buildings and stuff like that, an easy way to gather ether energy. And I would imagine this would be definitely used at some point. We know balloons have been around for quite a while, and apparently whatever his face is, Benjamin Franklin flew his stupid little kite in the air and had a key tied to it or whatever, and it zapped him and he discovered electricity. So it kind of falls into play with that narrative or whatever. I don't know. It's just fascinating. But I guess the point was also maybe you see so many photos where the skies are blanked out white. Maybe it's because they had these everywhere. I mean, wouldn't it be a simple seeming enough idea
give us free energy
to just
and all
be able to
wars
have your
so
own
much
energy
better
like that?
lives where we
I
didn't
mean,
have to
it seems
toil
simple
away,
enough.
in our
I don't know
9 to
if it could work. It's fascinating.
What you're looking at up here is a beetle shell. It's called the elytron. And if you did not know, beetles levitate. They don't fly, they levitate. Watch the wizardry of the beetle. So a moth flies exactly how you would expect, like it swims through the air. Same with flies, they fly horizontally. The beetle flaps out his levitators, jumps in the air, and hopes for the best. You don't really notice it because it happens really fast. But when they are about to take off, they flap out the elytra. Moth wings move in a wave, and fly wings move up and down, but beetle wings move side to side just to change the rotational direction that they're going. Elytra react to electromagnetic fields as small as the one that your body produces because of these guys. They're literally little vortex generators inside the shell. Inside the shell are little resonator cavities. A pulse in the cavity creates a wave that can be directed. In our antennas, we direct the beam by delaying the pulse, but the beetle has a shell that's already curved. When you face them together downwards, they create a reflection.
With all the billionaires, trillionaires.
So that one's interesting, and I played something like this before, trying to figure out something about that. It was the elytra of that insect wing that potentially makes it hover or have some effect. Let's ask ChatGPT about that one. Yo, ChatGPT, is there anything special about beetle wings and the elytra?
Oh, definitely. The elytra are those hardened forewings that cover a beetle's more delicate hindwings. They're special because they provide protection, almost like armor, so beetles can survive in all sorts of tough environments. When it's time to fly, the elytra lift up and let those delicate wings underneath unfold. It's a brilliant combo of protection and function.
I've heard that those elytra are actually generating some sort of energy or reflecting off energy or giving off some sort of weird energy to be able to help these bugs hover.
That sounds like a fun idea, but in reality, beetles don't generate any special energy with their elytra. The elytra are more like protective covers and mechanical aids. When the beetle wants to fly, it lifts those covers so the hind wings, or the actual flight wings, can unfold and do the flying. It's all muscle power, no mysterious energy feel.
Yeah, I still don't know about that one. The only thing I could think of is when that guy was putting the two elytra beetle, wing covers over each other. One was hovering above the other, and I'm wondering, could that possibly be even a static electric charge where it has nothing to do with the principles that they talk about, but maybe they just have some weird static charge because of the shape and the material that they're made out of, or maybe they gave them some sort of charge to make them be able to do that? I don't know. I don't really know how that works, but I had that a video before of a guy apparently, levitating on some sort of device that he made with a bunch of beetle wings, and that's how he levitated. So I'm not sure what it is, but nature is remarkable, and I don't think we don't know all of its secrets. That's for sure.
In the world today, why has one not tried to recreate one of these state capitals we have in the States? Like the Connecticut Capitol right here. We have more money, more technology, more people, supposedly, than ever has been before. Why has nobody tried to recreate this? You mean to tell me like no government would want to represent itself like this is why? Or a billionaire wouldn't want his legacy anything like one of these state capitals?
They tell us this kind of stuff all the time. They tell us we shouldn't make, or we wouldn't make buildings like this anymore because they're just out of style and they're not cool, and no rich people would build anything. But what are the rich people building? Are they just, I guess, underground? I guess it's some really dope ass underground thing that they're doing now. But like, you know what I'm saying though? Like where these buildings still do give off the vibes that they're trying to give off of strength, of longevity, of decadence, or not really, sorry, well, maybe not decadence, but just an overall ability. It shows a strength, I guess. This whole this whole structure does.
Or an architect wouldn't want to outdo this? We know that's not true. We know it. And because this has never happened even in just my lifetime, not even close, it means that we can't. People are going to totally take what I just said, the last line I said, and just run with it. They've already swiped. This isn't a smear campaign. It's quite the opposite. And no, I'm not saying aliens built anything either. We did it all. But at some point between the actual time this was built and now, we became disconnected. We weren't able to create like this anymore. But here's the thing. You can't lose something unless you had it. And clearly we had it. So how do we get back there? I want to hear from y'all. How do we start over and get back to creating things like this? I know the first step is to take it on the chin that we've been duped. Duped. Humble yourself. Love y'all. And have a good day.
It is pretty crazy though, dude. I still don't. Who do you think actually built those most of these buildings? Do you think it was a people, a civilization of people? Were they giants? Were they the Nephilim? Were they the Anunnaki? Were they the fallen angels? Were they, You know, who was it? Was it the Tartarians? Was it a conglomerate group of a bunch of different people? You know, it's my just thought that we didn't have all just white people here or just only Native Americans in the United States when we first got here. I think there was a wide variety of different types of people and cultures and things going on. And I don't think it was super homogenous, even though we have a lot of similar structures. You know, you can have a similar society, but still have, you know, sections of it, I guess, or groups or territories or different things like that. Yeah, there's just so many weird mysteries to these buildings. They just don't make sense to me. But I understand that we could do these things. They are there. We could do them. I know we had more time to think about some of this stuff than, you know, paying our bills today. I mean, taxes didn't come out until, what, 1913 or whatever it was. I don't know. But that stuff was just a mystery to me. But that's all the mysteries I got for you guys today. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. And I appreciate all those who've liked and subscribed so far. It makes me feel great. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.